Hello, and welcome to Edison TV. My name is Aaron Atkar. I'm an analyst here at Edison within the healthcare and investment trust teams. Today, we're looking at BB Biotech, a Switzerland-based investment company targeting long-term capital growth from biotechnology companies that develop and market innovative drugs. We are joined by Dr. Christian Koch, who is currently a deputy head of the investment management team, but will assume the role of head of the investment management team on the 1st of January 2025. Welcome, Chris.
Thank you, Aaron.
So to kick off, there is a strong sense within the biotech sector at the moment that the investment environment is improving. In your view, what are the key factors lifting this sentiment?
Well, for one, it's the prospects, I think, of lower interest rates over the mid to long term, which means for many of these biotech companies, lower capital costs. It is very relevant because of the high capital requirements that they have and the long duration of the drug development process. The second part that we're seeing improve slowly is on the financing side. The IPO market has woken up again. There are secondaries after good data sets. So that's a very important part of the industry. Aside from that, it's for sure the fundamental prospects of good clinical data. We've seen a couple of very important and big updates. For example, the big trial from Alnylam in TTR cardiomyopathy, and then regulatory approvals. And those regulatory approvals are actually on a very high level if you look at it historically. And then last, the part that's very important as well for the industry, for the biotech industry, is M&A. There was a very high number of M&A last year. This year it's been a little bit mute. We think this could start picking up after the US election.
Great. So aside from those generally supportive fundamental factors just mentioned, there's some major milestones on the horizon for BB Biotech's portfolio holdings. Can you outline the potential ramification of these for the portfolio?
Yeah, we have more or less big milestones for almost all of our core holdings and some of the smaller ones over the next 12 months. I think the ones that I can point out a little bit to is, for example, for BION, one of our largest holdings. They alone have 3 major clinical late-stage readouts over the next 12 months and at least 2 product launches. So we're very hopeful to see good clinical data there and anticipate that they will execute well on the product launches. Another one I can point out is the only private investment we have, Rivus Pharmaceuticals in obesity. What I can disclose there is that they have a late-breaking abstract and presentation at the Heart Failure Association Congress in the US end of this month. And we hope that will show a good path forward for that company. And the third one would be, for example, our large oncology holding, Revolution Medicines, that will show first larger data set on lung cancer, where they have shown promising data in pancreatic cancer before that, and it's the same asset.
We see that BB Biotech's search for new investment opportunities is supported by the work of an in-house team of data scientists. Firstly, could you help us understand how this team uses AI and big data techniques?
Yeah, in its essence, it's supposed to impact every part of the investment process, or specifically an investment case that can be on various levels. And at a later time when we hope it also impacts us on an aggregated level over the whole portfolio, understanding our fundamental data of every investment case at scale. There's many different ways that it can be impacted. One is through efficiency, for example. The highest impact it can have is in generating novel insights. For example, we buy real-world evidence data in the form of insurance claims, so very large data sets. And there we can now understand in the actual market patient journeys in a new way. We can fundamentally ask different or other questions that we couldn't even answer before. Also, reduce the fuzziness in a lot of parameters in our models, for example, about incidence and prevalence of certain rare diseases or more common diseases. We get a better picture of how the actual treatment landscape is at the moment versus prior people were always taking literature and taking very small sample sets there. So I think it can impact us really on every level, and it's growing in contribution on many to the mosaic of an investment case on many levels there.
Fantastic. So finally, following on from that, could you maybe share a bit more color on how this work on AI and big data techniques enhances BB Biotech's investment process and decision making?
Well, the same way it's impacting the on the investment process level and an individual investment case, we also annotate and collect what decisions we took at which point through the data science network. That's more an annotation framework. And then we can apply machine learning or easier or also simpler techniques to correlate decision-making processes with findings and learnings. That again can happen on an individual case level and future prospects of investment candidates, how we can apply specific learning sets in a certain therapeutic area or with a certain technology. But that can also be helpful for portfolio construction and balancing.
Fantastic. Well, thank you very much, Chris. We appreciate your time and look forward to following your progress in years to come. If our audience would like to learn more about BB Biotech, please refer to edisongroup.com. Thanks again, Chris.
Thank you very much, Aaron.